Wealth, fame, power. Gold Roger, the king of pirates, attained everything this world has to offer. The words he uttered just before his death drove people to seas. My treasure, if you want it, you can have it. Find it. I left everything this world has to offer there.
And so the men head for the Grand Line in pursuit of their dreams. The world has truly entered a great pirate era.
Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the Sustainable Sunny. Here with your hosts Los and Liv, and damn, I'm happy to say we're here to discuss and review this newest chapter of One Piece, 1001. Initial reactions and thoughts, Liv?
We stepped into the thousands pretty dang good.
Yeah,
I
think so
definitely.
too. This new 4-digit chapter begins with a very wholesome and pure cover art in comparison to the plot it's holding behind it. Jinbei is just laying down, taking a nap on a school of jellyfish, in the dark of course. Because fish need to turn the lights off before they get their shut-eye too, apparently.
When I first opened this, I had no idea what I was looking at. Because all these different shapes and shadings were like playing tricks on my eyes. And then when I read it says Jinbei, I was like, Jinbei? I don't see Jinbei on this. It was like, where's Waldo? I was like, what the heck? But the first initial glance, I was like, what am I looking at? Where's Jinbei?
Because of his kimono pattern too,
right?
Yeah,
because of the patterns and the different shading. It's like, dark and lights and like the stripes. And on the jellyfish, my eyes just played tricks on me.
That's okay. No, I caught it immediately and I was just like, this is nice. I like seeing Jinbei content. It's really nice.
It was good. After I saw what it actually was.
Anyways, it was just a nice, pure little scene we got from another Straw Hat fan request. Oda has been doing kind of back and forth between antagonists of the story and an individual Straw Hat, except for Sanji and Nami, which were part of the same cover art if you want to put it in technical terms. But take your guess who's going to be next. I actually I have a fun little prediction of thinking Crocodile is going to be a part of the next color spread.
Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah, because it's been going back and forth. Just, what was it? It was Luffy first, and then it was Blackbeard.
Okay.
And then it was Sanji and Nami, and then we got a Neru, and now we're back to Jinbei right here, so...
hold on. Let me try to think.
It's just been kind of funny. It's been a little pattern that I've been following ever since the one after the 1000 color spread.
I would actually let's go with Doflamingo.
Doflamingo?
Yeah, because he's in the prison right now. Maybe it'll show him like reading the newspaper or like playing chess or something. At least doing an activity.
Yeah, that would be cool. Something, prison related because locked up, they won't let him out. Enter rooftop battle. As everyone is still in a sense of awe after Luffy's impactful red rock technique, Kaido himself is a bit staggered, wondering how he could possibly be damaged.
The voice of an emperor resounds from the roof.
You shitty brat. Even after getting your ass beat, you're still saying that? Becoming the pirate king? Then we get a funny panel, I think, of just Luffy very stale face, like...
He's like,
It's just, Like...
Literally just a frown.
Think of a rubber ducky noise when you're looking at this panel. It's just... And then next to him is Kaido. He's kind of grunting to himself, thinking, that attack, it damaged me? He's kind of getting inside that surreal moment. All of the worst generation allies also take notice to the newly developed hockey Luffy just showcased.
Zoro questions, is that the hockey he learned from that old man in Wano?
Kid also questions this hockey. I can't believe a punch actually damaged Kaido.
Killer's laughing. This battle's not lost after all. It's unfortunate you can't tell if Killer is laughing seriously or not. Because he could be sarcastically laughing right now, or he could be crying.
Right, yeah, I shouldn't be laughing.
You can't tell. Do you think he's like serious in this moment?
You know what? I actually think he's a little bit relieved. I personally think he held his bladder and not wetting his pants after seeing Luffy attack Kaido like that. He's just like, whew, I don't have to go all out. He's a little more reassured that, hey, maybe instead of a 1% chance, we have like maybe a 3 or 4% chance.
You think it's like a relief sigh type of noise he's making?
To me, at first read, I got it. I took it like that, yeah.
I do have hope.
Yeah, you're like, I'm glad he's on my team right
here.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then Law, he looks a little upset. He's just like, he smacks his lips. I'm not gonna let this slide this time.
Big Mom's roaring. Does a brat like you even understand what it means to be the Pirate King? They're really trying to drill this into Luffy. Like, they really are so bewildered that this kid essentially thinks he's gonna become the king of pirates.
Yeah, they're just like absolutely baffled. They're just like,
this kid.
Who are you? Seriously, yeah, like what the hell? How old are you?
When these four are all questioning this Rio that Luffy just used, I think Luffy should have been like, time out, so they could all learn it and then they would be able to defeat Kaido so easily.
Oh, like a group huddle kind of thing?
Yeah, just like huddle up. They don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's kind of, to me, I was a little surprised that at the very least, I didn't want Kid to be so surprised by it. So how I'm thinking about it is that Luffy was only as good with his armament hockey as Katakuri coming into this fight without the Ryuo. And now I'm kind of looking at Kid like that because it's like, okay, so Luffy obviously has an edge over you because he knows like this technique.
Right, and we thought Kid was supposed to be higher up because we were supposedly told that he has, something up his sleeve or he knows something extra about Kaido.
Yeah, and on top of that, he has Conqueror's Haki while Law doesn't. So that was kind of like the trade-off between the two, whereas like, well, Kid is supposed to be stronger than Law because he has Conqueror's Haki, but Law is more crafty with his Devil Fruit, and he has a D in his name. But this is like the trade-off between those two, So in a sense, I'm a little disappointed by Kid being a little ignorant to this fact, but at least Zoro knew. He's like, oh, so that's what I was hearing about. Okay. They train a lot different. He has katanas, Luffy has his fists, and all he has to do is be imaginative with his techniques. But so does Zoro, but more like precise and more fine technique.
Right, but the Rio could be used for...
Yeah.
It's a hockey technique.
It is
so,
hockey.
I mean, Zoro could use it on a sword, right? And then Kid and Law could use it in their techniques as well. That's why they should do a timeout so they could defeat Kaido.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, not a 30-second one. They need the full minute for this one.
Too bad.
Kaido picking himself up from the floor, still in disbelief about the punch he just ate, and takes a look at Luffy and questions what happened after the curry fight between them. Silhouettes of Odin, Whitebeard, Roger, Zebek, and Shanks all appear behind Luffy in this badass little panel, setting Luffy up there with the greats in Kaido's eyes in terms of being able to square up against them fairly. Here Kaido says, there are only a handful of people that can fight me. Are you implying that you are just as great as they are? Kaido's just basically saying here, he's like, well, no one else has been able to make my lip bleed, been able to intimidate me in a way where like I have to worry about your next punch.
So you think it's these specific characters and it's no one else has? Like it's literally only just these couple of people?
I think so. Yeah. To intimidate him, yes, and for him to think about it like this, yeah, because he won't look at Big Mom like, oh, well, she's a threat to me when, we're in an alliance together right now. They're writing this Rocks thing hard, though. I wonder when they're actually gonna, like, bring him into action, like, not in just silhouette, but, like, in a proper, like, flashback. I'd like to see something from him, maybe his eye color, his, seriously, all we've gotten is just silhouette, and it's been a couple months now since he was introduced, and
we just stepped into the thousands.
Yeah, I'm a bit anxious. So another tiny detail I forgot to mention about this silhouette in the panel is that I've taken notice to a lot of people in the One Piece community saying that Shanks is not smiling, or at least he's not grinning like everybody else in silhouette, and it was just kind of implying like, why is he so serious? Or because looking at it right now in the panel, I can actually tell like he might be smirking, but like you might look over that at first read.
Where?
In the panel with Luffy and the other five.
Oh, I see him now. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see him for a second.
Yeah, no, he's right in the middle, and everybody else has like a grin and smiling or laughing, and Shanks is just like...
Yeah, no, I didn't take note of the smile until just now.
Yeah, nothing serious, but I mean, Oda does... He plants in these small details sometimes that we look over, and sometimes it comes back into play. So.
Yeah, that is good, because even here, Luffy's not smiling too, so it's a foreshadow in his shadow.
Yeah.
Kaido smirks. He's getting ready to attack Luffy.
Thunder Bagua! And he actually hits Luffy. Luffy sees it coming with his observation haki, but he still gets hit with it.
Is that blood coming out?
Yeah, no, he's bleeding.
Luffy tumbles and tumbles. Damn it! Even though I saw the future, he's too fast. Kaido looks down upon Luffy. This is good. You're putting up a decent fight this time around. And he has a great big grin. He's excited. He's like, this is about to go down.
Yeah, he's hungry for the fight too, I think. He's looking for it. Quickly, Big Mom takes stage as she tries to corner Luffy following Kaido's attack with her own heavenly fire. But then we see our boy, the one-eyed Marimo. Zoro springs into action, Foxfire style. Fire, flame slice. Cutting Prometheus in half, in turn negating the attack. Prometheus screams in agony for a few seconds, while Luffy is relieved, gazing at Zoro's newly performed technique. Remembering that it's Kinemon's attack, Zoro hears Luffy's statement, replying with his claim that it's his technique now, with a huge grin on his face.
Yeah, so look at that grin.
He's liking the acknowledgement from his captain, I think.
Oh yeah, he's like, look at this.
He's like, yep, I've been waiting to show you.
And it makes Kinemon proud too.
Mm-hmm. I'm more than sure he would. He was gonna come in at some point when
blocks it. Yep, exactly what I wanted to see happen. I didn't think Big Mom would jump on it right away. I thought she was gonna jump on it later on. But I knew that Zoro would immediately go to Luffy's side, and that's exactly what happened.
Oh, okay, so you thought Big Mom would have been like, okay, I'll have a turn. I'll wait for Kaido to finish playing with these guys.
Yeah, no, I thought it was gonna be a little bit later on. I didn't think it was gonna be immediately right after Kaido swung, hit him. Big Mom pounces up on there. But of course Zoro goes to his side because, you know, Luffy already knows that Zoro's gonna be there. He doesn't even have to worry.
He doesn't even have to try to observation hockey the future for
exactly,
that. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was a nice panel here, nice sequence of actions just because that's how I wanted Zoro to come into the fight too. Yeah, I wanted him to come in initially as support, and we'll get into this later into the chapter, but then I want Zoro to get hungry with his own techniques and want to show off. We'll touch this later in the chapter.
He's screaming at Luffy, Luffy, don't let your guard down even for a second.
Oi, Luffy! Zoro!
And I love this reminder to Luffy because they're up against Tuyanko. And I think this is a subliminal message from Oda to his readers. Like, you guys, chapter 1000, now it's 1001. Get ready. We're up against Tuyanko. Don't let your guard down, people. We're still in this fight. That's what I think. It's Zoro telling Luffy, but it's Oda telling us. That's what I thought when I read this.
He's always the one to check Luffy.
Oi, Luffy! Zoro!
And that's what I love about Zoro's character and his like duty as the vice captain. He might not have like a specific role on the ship, like, oh, I'm the one that washes everybody's clothes, or, you know, like he's the swordsman of the crew and doesn't, like, you know, pertain him to any responsibilities on the ship. But when it comes down to like actual character for a vice captain, he does meet those standards all the time. If my captain's acting up, I gotta get in his face, or, you know, I gotta get in place to kind of take action or take force, you know.
And in this situation, it's don't underestimate them.
Yeah, because Luffy is a little bit airheaded, you know. He's like, oh, you know, I really like Zoro, you know. Luffy is literally all of us being like, I can't believe Zoro just did that technique, you know. He's probably just like star eyes complete, and he's just forgetting the fact that Kaido is probably like 10 feet away from him. Kaido, he starts picking up his Kanobo again, getting ready to hit Luffy with a third Thunder Bagua, but we get the ultimate support character, Shambles. Law transports Luffy away from the incoming attack that Kaido was about to hit him with, and transports Luffy right next to Law.
Exactly what we said in the last chapter review. Law is going to shamble everybody around. He's the ultimate chess player, moving around his pieces.
Yep, that's definitely it, because he doesn't have 64 squares. He has everything and anything inside his room is at his command. Luffy is suddenly transported right next to Law, and in a very comedic scene, Law starts bantering to Straw Hat about the whole Scabbard rescue. Whoa! Straw Guy! Hey, Straw Hat picks him up by his collar. Just so you know, I had already planned on moving Kinemon and the others downstairs. Luffy's just, huh? But you went ahead and said that. Straw Guy! Send all of them below! And we got Law just holding Luffy up by the collar with like his vein throbbing right on his temple. He's like, now it looks like I obeyed your orders. And Luffy's just like, how does that even matter right now?
This
dude? Like,
was so funny. I was laughing so hard. This boosts my love for Law because I didn't expect this at all. This just took a whole other turn. It was just so funny. Yeah, this is probably on one of my favorite panels because I've never laughed so hard while reading it. I need to make a list of all my favorite panels, but for that I would need to start from chapter 1. But this panel right here, or this section, would be probably top funniest moments.
Top funniest moments? moments. Yeah, I think for me too, as what's going to follow it right now, because
we're just getting started.
You know, just in this panel that we're talking about right now, this is literally like the definition of Luffy and Law's relationship, because this is how you could define it in one panel and in one image. They have like this this mutual respect for each other as pirates and just as people, but just between the two, they're just so opposite, you know?
Yeah, like Law's like, don't make me look like that. Who the hell do you think you are? I'm a captain. You know,
yeah, you know, it's like, I'm the captain of my own crew, bro. Like, I'm not under the Straw Hat flag,
and they're in the middle, one of the biggest fights they're ever gonna do.
This is like the biggest fight of their life yet, and they're over here like
bickering.
Yeah, they're bickering at each other to being like, dude, stop making me look bad in front of the Yonko, bro. Like,
but yeah, Luffy probably thinks just as we're thinking right now, like, why did you even say this
he's
right
like,
now?
Why are you bringing this up? I thought I was just fighting Kaido, bro, and you literally excluded me from the fight just to tell me this. Kid kind of intervenes and makes a snotty comment towards Law. Trafalgar, and here I thought you had finally become Straw Hat's lackey. In the background, Law still is holding Luffy by the collar and screams at the top of his lungs, as if, and Kid just goes back to say, doesn't really matter to me whether one scrub joins another. And Luffy kind of hears him and is just like, what'd you say too?
Big Mom takes notice to the three captains. Prometheus, burn them all to cinders. Heavenly fireballs, said Prometheus. Blows all these fireballs. Yes, Mama. Mama.
Oi, Mama. As the oncoming attack fly towards them, Luffy then suggests a tiny wager, or game you could call it, saying the first person to touch the fireball is the scrub.
Here's the timeout I was talking about.
Yeah, here's the time.
We're gonna play a game.
The current timeout, which is just basically a delayed attack, it's just like the 10 seconds before the fireball actually hits them. Like hell, I'd agree to that, you idiot. Law just kind of reiterates after he was already frustrated with Luffy. Suggesting a pointless game like at a time like this is exactly why you fools will never become big shots, Kid expresses. And, you know, Kid is like the least playful kind of character, I feel, out of all three of them. But what comes next is I'm really happy Oda gave us. Luffy kind of, you know, he triggers the other two by saying, you know what, alright, that's cool, you guys don't want to play? I guess you two are the real scrubs then. And, you know, it just stabs both of them right in their prideful heart. And it's just like,
shit, I have no other choice.
You're like, are you kidding me, Luffy? Straw Hat, why do you have to be like this at a time as serious as this?
But they're all just as stubborn, because now we see
in the funniest panel of the whole chapter. Liv, please explain this.
It's just the three of them with the fireball so close to their face and triple chin going all the way back, and they're just sweaty, noses drippy with boogers. It's
just, huh?
Messy.
This had me rolling at very first read, because how Liv was not expecting the previous panel between Law and Luffy. That was just, you know, a nice little comedy gimmick right there. But this is literally just adding icing, fudge, sprinkles, and cherry on top of the cake with this funny little scene of, it's basically just all three of the captains with the expression Oda introduced earlier into this arc. It's just so much more funnier because we all know how serious this moment is right now, and these guys are really playing around.
And I love the relationship building of these three characters.
Yeah, no, it's definitely integral to the story. I want them to have more interactions like this.
And then Zoro turns around. What the hell are you guys doing? And his tongue is sticking out. He just looks so angry. And he might be a little jealous that he's not joining them. I'm gonna be the only one who has to do this while you guys are, you know, screwing around.
Yeah, you guys are over here screwing around. I just got done saving you from an attack. I'm trying to be serious. I'm grabbing my bandana. And you guys are messing around in a little game like this of who's a scrub.
If something's gonna get done, he's gonna do it himself.
He's just gonna do it himself, of course. That's what the boss does.
And I feel like I relate to Zoro on that level. Like, I'm just gonna do it then. Fine. You guys, whatever.
He's just short about it. He's like, yep, I'm taking things in my hands. and my control.
But if like Zoro looks back at the exact moment and all three of their faces are that expression,
That would, yeah.
He's just like, that's why he's like, what the hell? Like, what is going on here?
He has that etched into his memory forever. I would love for these guys to be able to get together one more time. Not in Wano, but just maybe like in the future or even just shortly after Wano. Somewhere else in the sea and being able to celebrate after a big battle amongst each other, or they just happen to like meet up at the same island and they're able to share a drink.
I definitely think that will happen.
And I want them to be like, you know, they all want to do their own goal and be like, oh, remember that bullshit back in Wano, how you called me a scrub? Or, you know, like...
right, reminisce.
Yeah, they just, you know, reminisce on these times later, but I want them to be friendly with each other like this. You know, like how Whitebeard was with Roger, and, you know, just to a certain degree. It doesn't have to go, like, all, like, super sappy brotherly love. But...
No, it'll be like a friendship, like how it is right now. Like,
yeah,
like we're still enemies for, you know, a hot second.
If you're just drinking and having a celebration at that island and my crew just arrived at this island, we're gonna join the party.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, we're not gonna...
Can I get invited to that party?
Yeah, no shit.
Can we go?
Yeah, where is the coordinates to this?
Yeah, please tell us the location and we'll put it in Google Maps.
Latitude and longitude on the Grand Line, right? Which side?
Jumping back into the action, Kaido puts his hand up. Stand back, Lin Lin. I want to see how strong these big brats are. What, you don't like my Kaido voice?
No, it's just stand back, Lin Lin. I'm gonna take care of these guys.
We also thought this was going to happen, or at least I thought, you know, she's going to be thrown to the side, but I thought right away.
She's like getting tagged out of the fight.
You know, until the roof breaks, that's what I think is going to happen, then she'll begin to fight.
Right, yeah, more airborne kind of.
Yeah, she'll be paired
battle
with somebody else, not with somebody on the roof.
Maybe against Law. I want to see some Law versus Big Mom kind of craftiness here. Right after their small chatter, Zoro and Killer also share a couple comments between each other. Try not to get in my way, Kamazo the manslayer, as he recreates a little bit of his laugh, I think. There aren't many people with such a weird laugh. Kind of a pause. Killer just kind of takes notice and looks at him. Fa 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 fa. He does have a really weird laugh. That is just really strange.
And for Zoro to bring it up, it's just like, okay, like, why would you mention my laugh? Like, come on, there's other things
just like,
you can mention.
You gotta hit my insecurities, dude.
He's probably heard that his whole life, you know, if it's something like that. Poor Killer.
That's why he's got the mask on, so you don't see his tears.
But I like this comment to Killer because we don't see Zoro interact with people that much like that.
Yeah, no, I think actually this is how Zoro's gonna reference Killer for the rest of for the rest of Zoro's life. He might not reference him as Killer. He might just keep calling him Kamazo because of their first battle in Wano.
I like that too. Yeah,
and vice versa. Killer will be calling Zoro Juro, maybe.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Yeah, it could be because that's how. Yeah, Killer replies to him, if I'd been using my punishers back then, the scythe mechanical things on his forearms, you'd have been dead meat, Zoro Juro. And I don't know if it's just to kind of like play back at him for, you know, calling him Kamazo, but I think they might keep this relationship between each other.
Oh, I like that idea.
You know,
Good
like
job.
you know, like they're not gonna call, you know, because a lot of people I think in the One Piece universe knows each other as like through a specific event. For as long as they live, this is the two names they'll be calling each other. Killer follows Zoro as they both lead up to Kaido, catching a glimpse of the duo, and then eats an attack from each one of them. As both Zoro and Killer are running up to Kaido, Zoro makes one last comment to Killer saying it would have ended the same regardless, referencing the fight between the two. Zoro charges up 3-sword style. Santoryu, Rengoku, Onigiri. Killer uses his decapitation claw technique. I think he just kind of does like a cross X kind of motion and tries to like, he might have went for Kaido's neck or his head or maybe his shoulder, but I'm pretty sure Zoro got like torso, the chest. Another thing to mention, I actually just kind of a little personal, I don't know if this is actually a new or the same technique that Zoro used to defeat Killer. I don't know if this is just a different version of the Onigiri or this is just like a brand new one, but the very first attack Zoro decided to use against Kaido is Onigiri Onigiri. Interesting.
Why is that so interesting to you?
I mean, he decided to get serious, and he is kind of weighing out his own attacks, because right after he does say, I need to release more power from Emna, it goes to show that Zoro is kind of still, he's fluctuating in his power. And it's interesting to point out just because he had just put on his bandana.
Right, well, we'll see what happens.
Right, okay. Kaido feels the sting and cocks his head back for a second, comes back to his senses and starts laughing. He's seemingly enjoying himself. I think he's been waiting for this fight, like, in the back of his head.
Yeah, no, they've been waiting up on the roof for a bit now.
And yeah, they're wondering who's gonna show up, and I think Kaido's getting a little pleased with the personnel that actually did show up.
I'm pleased.
Me too. If anybody else is gonna present themselves, then don't go right ahead. But I mean, if you're gonna come up now. After the dud of an attack from the duo, Kaido is then faced with the three captains again, this time bracing himself for what's to come, as Luffy announces that, you bastard, I'll finish this in an instant. All simultaneously, Luffy transforms into Gear 4th. Bound Kid starts collecting his scrap metal and transforms into his punk rotten, and Law just woo. Kaido gets a nice little silhouette, bracing himself, and in the
He's getting riled up.
He's getting riled up. Yeah,
bring it on.
His blood's pumping right now, because in the very next panel is just a big double-page spread of Kid's absolutely huge,
massive robo gear. I can't even know what it is.
Yeah, this is like
I can't tell if he's floating or if that's the way he's positioned.
It's just like this big floating robot. Luffy in the middle, obviously, you know, he's a bit big himself just because he's in the Bound Man transformation. And then Law just chilling
like a villain,
floating on top of this big ass boulder with more big ass spiked boulders just right above him, you know, like
aiming down at Kaido,
just ready to go.
Kaido's laughing. These little brats are like little monsters. And it's true, because when you look at them, none of them look normal. Except for Law. He looks like the most normal.
The most normal, just...
But Kid, we could spend a whole entire podcast episode about this.
Yeah.
Because this is insane. I'm surprised we don't see Luffy with star eyes in this. I'm sure if Frankie sees this, he's gonna be just like, oh my gosh, ching,
like,
ching, ching,
ideas. Ching. Yeah, I went crazy looking at this design. Like, it's insane. Like, you get like this big punk rock looking kind of, like, it's a skull, right? Picture like the punk spikes coming out of the skull's head, and it's like a crooked crown over the eye and over the temple of forehead of the skull, and that's like the emblem of the punk rot right in the middle of the chest.
And he has this huge mechanical hands.
Yeah, no, this is at least, at the very bare minimum, 3 times the size of Luffy's Bound Man right here, I have to say.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times. This thing is pretty big.
Yeah,
it doesn't have any legs, so that's what is kind of confusing. He just has all this junk, extra scrap metal laying around.
Yeah. I think it's just like through magnetic pull, it's just being dragged like
it's being
like
all
a tail.
Held up by his magnetic, gravity. You know, he's holding it up.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I think actually, personally, this is my take on Kid's awakening. I think this is a perfect example of how, like, it wasn't said in this chapter, but to my knowledge, this is how I would feel Kid's awakening would be, in a sense, just because if you create or bring every scrap metal piece that's near you and you're able to manipulate it like the way Kid is. Before, in pre-time skip, he was only able to do just 2 arms, and then he'd, like, you know, clutch both of the arms together and launch it like a rocket attack. Mm-hmm. Kid was already a big time pirate with a bounty of like 315 million, I think at that point it was. Kid had obviously developed new techniques in hockey and Conqueror's hockey, obviously, through the time skip. And for him to transform into something as huge as this...
It's big news.
It's big news, because before he was only able to create the arms. And now he has, like, this whole chest emblem, and he's able to make all of this float while he's inside of it.
And if you follow us on Instagram at Sustainable Strawhats, you could see our Wano expectations and what we actually think all of their bounties are, or what they will be.
Right after the arc.
Yeah, because I predicted Kids to be pretty high up there, remember? I think mine was higher than yours.
Yeah,
my prediction. And look, and I wrote that before I even saw this panel. This panel just proves it. Like, this is crazy for Kid.
Yeah, actually, you know what? You have actually proved me wrong, because I had Kid a little on the Instagram post for the character expectations. I had put Kid at a lower bounding level than you just because I wasn't expecting too much out of Kid, actually. After he showcased this right here, he might actually have a bigger chance to shine because he might have more up his sleeve, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna see, you know, what Robo Kid could do. The person we need to see something from is Law.
Something impressive.
Yeah, what else are you gonna have?
Yeah, it's a little more of a technical fight with Law, but that's his style of fighting.
But he still could show us more.
Yeah, no, of course. I want to see something more from him, obviously. Kid just screams at Kaido, I know full well how tough your skin is, but I wonder if you can endure being crushed to death. And Luffy cocks back his fist. Gamu Gamu no. What makes Law look cool in this panel is that his hat always keeps his eyes in silhouette.
Mysterious.
And is mysterious looking, and he's kind of looking down at Kaido like this, you know? He's like, I'll destroy you from within. My surgery will grant you a swift death. Kaido just gets an even bigger grin on his face. He's just waiting for this to happen. You know what? He welcomes each attack. Like if they were his cousins from he hasn't seen in like years.
What a weird...
he welcomes them in. No, he does. These attacks, they just effortless. Luffy lands Kongan directly right in like Kaido's abdomen.
Center.
Right dead center. Just full force. Kid follows. Punk Vice. This attack essentially is just Kid bringing both his fists down, sandwiching
Knuckle
Kaido.
sandwich.
Kaido is just absolutely sandwiched. And to follow that up, Law pops up right in front of Kaido. You know, room, shambles, tact. Brings all these spiked boulders raining down on Kaido right after he got hit by Kid and Luffy's
And
attack.
that's just what makes Law's character so freaking cool. Just like, show up here all smooth like and just do tact, one little freaking finger move, all his boulders fall. Law, we wish we were as cool as you, okay?
Yeah, seriously, okay, not only are you the ultimate support character, you're the edgiest person on here.
Exactly. These people are sweating bullets, you know, Kid and Luffy trained so hard for all they're doing right now. And Law's just like, yeah,
I'll move a finger.
It's like a walk in the park.
But that makes Law really big in this too, because the other two pirates, they're like transforming and they're getting big, and Law's just staying the same. He's just opening his room. Yeah, just opening his room and just maneuvering everything that's inside of it, which, you know, it keeps Law in this like top rank of pirates because it's just
because of that. He
can compete with almost anybody virtually. If the fight is not against a gravity user or like a time space manipulating user, someone impossible, Law is the next person up to take that place.
Big Mom is laughing. She's on top of Zeus. Mom. Her sword. What's her sword's name?
Napoleon.
Napoleon is on fire. Kaido is now in dragon form. He's chuckling to himself, flying up. Los, why don't you do the honors and describe this beautiful spread of all of these crazy transformations we got here?
Yeah, in this final and third double page spread, we have an even more epic standoff than the previous one in chapter 1000. This is like the upgraded, transformed standoff. Everybody is absolutely serious. You could tell at this point. Kaido is in his full dragon form. Big Mom is charged up right on top of Zeus. Zeus is all pissed off. So is Napoleon. He's all fired up literally and fully extended in size.
Zoro has his bandana on, so you know shit's about to get real.
He's got all three swords out. Killer, he's getting ready to make those size moves. Kid, he's floating. What's holding Kid up, what it looks like, is just like this big base. It's just like a ring that he had found somewhere.
It looks like a spaceship or a satellite. Crazy looking.
Yeah, or think of a mass on the ship. Think of it broken off and then just like it's spinning and propelling Kid in the air, essentially. I don't know if it's spinning necessarily, but it is keeping
It looks
Kid
like
up
a propeller.
Afloat. Yeah, it is keeping him up afloat. Luffy, he's bouncing up and down with his bounce man transformation.
And Law's just there chilling like a villain.
Right on top of a rock. He just, something about Law and like...
He loves these rocks.
These rocks. What's up with these rocks,
He's just like,
man?
ooh, I want to see which one is the tallest.
He just loves brooding over him. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's like the smallest person in here, but he loves acting big and bad and tall, just serious face. Kaido announces, closing the chapter, "It's such a shame to have to kill you all, but it can't be helped. Once you're dead, we'll take everything you have. Your friends, your treasure, all of it will be ours."
Big Mom thunders, "You guys have poneglyphs too, don't you? I can't wait to get my hands on them."
"The victor of this battle will take a massive step," as it closes in on Kaido and Luffy, "towards becoming the Pirate King." An inevitable clash begins. Well, Liv, are you satisfied with this chapter?
Oh, for sure. This was a great chapter. We have a lot of comedy, and then we have a lot of badass moments. I love the simultaneous attacks. Those are my favorite things to look at. We have Kid, Law, Luffy, and Zoro just getting ready, and Killer, who am I forgetting?
No, that's all 5 of them.
We're getting to the tip top of the roller coaster, and then we're gonna have chapter after chapter of all these different fights.
Yeah, it is. It's missing a little bit of drama right now, but it will leak in pretty soon. If you follow us on Instagram at Sustainable Strawhats, like Liv mentioned earlier, we have 20 characters that we have expectations for that are in this Wano currently in Onigashima. We have done all of the Straw Hat crew's expectations along with 10 other people that are at Onigashima. Check it out if you would like, and then comment what your expectations are on these characters too.
Right before the chapter ends, when Kaido is telling Luffy and all of them that this isn't just a battle, I'm gonna take everything from you. And that's kind of hit me like in a reality, like that's totally right, because if Kaido and Big Mom win, which I'm sure they won't, the Straw Hats will be wiped off the grid.
Yeah.
Because they're literally all there on the island, like Kid, Law, and Luffy's crews are gonna be gone.
Wiped.
Like I said, I don't think that'll happen, but this is something, you know, Kaido is telling them, you're losing much more than a battle here if you lose. They think that these are kids.
Yeah, right. More like you're playing the adult games right now.
And it is kind of nearing the end of the battles because they're going against 2 Yonko, so that's why Kaido is telling them, whoever wins this is gonna be this much closer to becoming the Pirate King, because now 2 of the biggest people are out of the race.
These are high stakes right here, because if you're to lose this battle, you're not going to lose by a hair. You're going to just lose completely. There is no rematch right after this. This is just loser and winner.
Ooh, that makes me excited for the next chapters to come.
The next couple chapters, I can't believe we started 1001 just like this. It's got me really grateful, because usually Oda would cut away into other action scenes and use a variety to cover the chapter, but I'm really happy he decided to keep his focus on the chapter, on the rooftop. Just for a little while longer before we cut away to any of the other action scenes that we know is going on in Onigashima also. But this is the main battle. You know, everybody came for the main event right here, and it's good that he decided to focus at least 2 chapters for the initiation of it.
Do you think next chapter will be this fight or dive into the other fights?
Actually, after the ending panel kind of cliffhangs everything very appropriately, and I think we'll actually go back to the live floor with probably Queen and Drake's situation there, maybe with Chopper also.
Okay.
If not, I call maybe Nami and Usopp's situation.
What about Carrot? Where is she doing?
Yeah, man.
We haven't seen her in a while.
Shit, last thing we've seen her and, what's her name? Wanda. Last thing we see Carrot and Wanda doing is absolutely slashing Sparrow's face. That was about, I gotta say, wow, Marco was fighting Big Mom at that point, and he's already interacting with King and Queen. That was roughly like 10 chapters ago already.
Yeah, so we'll see more from everybody else next chapter.
Probably. If not, I could see Wanda and Carrot maybe starting the chapter off.
Oh, that'd be good. Mm-hmm. And I guess we'll see next week.
Next week is actually... No, we are on a break next week.
Darn.
So in the next 2 weeks,
we
will be able to get it, which is okay, because, you know, Oda, he's just give him a little break. It's the beginning of the new year. He just gave us like 2 really big slices of cake to start us off in the new year, and I will graciously accept it and be respectful and just be patient for what's to come. There's plenty of fight, there's plenty of action that's gonna come. 2021 is gonna be filled with it.
And then you can hear all of that on the podcast at Sustainable Straw Hats, on social media, and wherever you listen to this podcast. Thank you guys for joining us, and come back in 2 weeks for 1002 chapter review.
This is Liv and Los, setting sail.
Goodbye.
ルフィは海賊王になる男だ